Dipito.
The Dipito Let's Talk Crypto Show. I'm doing very well. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Are you?
I am. For Wednesday, it was a little bit stressful today.
Hump day,
and it was payroll. I had to do payroll, and there was all kind of crazy stuff going on. And I was trying to get out of there. And wouldn't you know, as soon as I go to leave, I freaking want to get myself a glass of water, and the top of my glass came off. And I spilled a bunch of water all over someone else's files. And so and I was like, oh shit, man, this is not good at all. And then I'm like, I gotta go, man. So I think the files are gonna be
did you go old school and lay them all the pieces of paper out like by the heater or by the window with the sun, and you're left a little sticky note, my bad, deuces, have a good weekend?
If I was a good person, I would have done that, but I needed to leave. So I took and squeezed the ends of the paper.
Yes, I love it.
And I kind of tried to fluff it out. And yeah. So anyway, I love it. I apologize to whoever gets to look at that mess on Monday morning.
Hey, it's what, it's 4th of July weekend. I mean, whatever. Anything can go here.
I want to welcome. We got 43 people. The Reaper Atum family has brought their posse tonight because we usually don't start off with 45. Well, now we got 45 people in here.
Well, like I said, it's 4th of July weekend. Everybody's like, no, I'm out. Forget this day job. I'm gone. I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna watch some YouTube, some Dipitos on. I've been missing out, and I'm not missing tonight.
I want to give a shout out to Liam. He was the first person in the chat at 5:30 and said, "Oh no, it'll be 1 o'clock for him." So they'll be listening on their way to work. So they'll listen to the playback. Toastman, Toasty, hello, my friend. Glad to see you here. Drew Anke's here. Boney 82's here. Who else? K Buddy.
Got
New Mindset.
Rosemary's in the house. Got Lisa in the house too. Right on. Looking
Indie
good.
Odyssey. Yeah, so we got all of our friends here. Well, and for those of you who don't know, we have a special guest plural. Tonight we have Patrick L. Riley joining us once again here on Dipito to complete a 4-part series. We've already had 3 parts covering all the projects that he's working on. And as we know, he has a lot on his plate. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with Patrick L. Riley and Reaper Financial and Atum Industries, you can watch the first part of our series was episode 27, where we discussed the Reaper Financial and the Reaper token. And then in episode 28, we discussed his Ascension Project. And then we had Greg Prewett here from Ark Industries, and we discussed that project in episode 31. And now Mr. Riley is back with his friend Kai. Oh, I'm going to say it wrong. Selekwa, I believe, to talk about the Pillars project and the new built on XRP box project, which I'm really excited to hear about. So, of course, Patrick describes himself as a serial entrepreneur, and I kind of did a little digging on Kai and found that he is a visionary social tech entrepreneur and strategist. So I'm very excited to have them both, and please join me in welcoming him. I can't even say that. Welcoming them to the show.
To the show.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you, my friends?
Doing pretty well.
Well,
perfect.
For those in the audience, we have 80 people in here right now. So some folks might not know who you are, Mr. Patrick L. Riley. Please give us a little background and what led you into this crypto digital asset space.
Sure. So as you alluded to, I have 7 different companies and 7 different tokens on the XRP ledger. I launched Reaper Financial in late 2021 when I was getting out of the military after the vaccine mandate. Prior to that, I was in civil affairs and PsyOps as a combat medic for about 16 years. And I'm acquired savant since 2009.
Acquired savant. What is an acquired savant for those that might not know what that is?
So basically, that means I took a head injury when I got blown up in Iraq, and I became a little bit smarter than the average potato.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. I mean, it could have been bad, and you turned out to be smarter for it. So I know I'm impressed.
You went from a standard French fry to a sweet potato French fry.
A sweet potato curly fry.
Gotcha. All right. Curly fry. Oh,
nice.
I like it. Fire.
Well, Mr. Kai Selekwa, correct?
That is correct.
Yes, I said it right. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up in the crypto digital asset space and how you maybe hooked up with Patrick L. Riley.
Once upon a time, when I was in high school, it was about when I was 16 years old. So this was around, I don't know, maybe 2014. I don't usually keep check like that, but
Yeah.
I was having lunch, and then I saw a lot of people looking at their devices. And if you're familiar with Black Mirror, it is a very eerie feeling that you start to feel when you understand how your behavior is actually being predicated not by the education you receive, but by the actions of those around you. And I decided to go into entrepreneurship very quickly. Started my previous business, which was to incentivize people to engage with one another. So if you were to check in somewhere, you would be able to actually earn cryptocurrencies. And I started that when I was about 16, 17 years old. That's when I had to learn how to code, had to learn how to also go into different markets to understand human behavior, not only on the micro sense or the microeconomic sense, but also the macroeconomic sense, where you can think of small businesses all the way to larger governments.
Right.
Because when you understand how people have a tendency to behave, I have a tendency to also geek out over psychology, socioeconomics, and all those things.
No, go.
Yeah,
We know other people like that too. We know other people like that too. Yeah.
Run it for about 8 years, push towards 100,000 users, and try to create a social economy, which is a crazy sentence, right? Because it was inspired by Steemit, which was built on
Steemit.
Oh, I know Steemit.
If I recall correctly, was it Cardano?
Oh, I don't know. I've heard of Steemit, but I didn't even realize that it was anything to do with crypto at all.
No, it does. No.
What up, Curly Bill?
Man, I want to look at that.
Yep,
yeah, I remember Steemit, but I didn't realize that was anything to do with digital asset space at all.
It was essentially a social media platform that incentivized people being engaged. That was it. But they were focused on blogs. That was the catch. And we took inspiration from that to try to get somebody to check in. You can think of Foursquare meets crypto.
Now this was your first project that you started working on when you were a teenager.
That is correct.
Wow.
And I closed it about 2-3 years ago. Ran it for a while. March of 2022. And I can complain about Jerome Powell all I want, but that's not a here nor there. And then when it comes to being engaged with built on XRP, I have at least I would like to believe I have a lot of experience when it comes to Web3 social media.
Okay.
And being able to be engaged with Patrick, who has actually a lot of psyops experience as well. I'm a psychology geek, sociology geek as well. And then when you add economics to it in order to create a full ecosystem, it will always come back to how do people feel about what is going on and what is the information that they understand. How do you educate them? How do they understand what is going to be happening next? And if you can actually give them that information and make sure that they're also rewarded for their participation, then they'll have no hesitation, no contemplation, and they'll just use built on XRP. And that's how I got here.
And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you more about Box, and I maneuvered around in there. But before we get to Box, I would like to talk about Pillars first, which is another. What is that? Is that your fourth phase, Patrick? The Pillars project.
Yeah, so Pillars isn't necessarily a phase. It is a project in and of itself, but it is much simpler than our other blockchain offerings in that it really only does one job and it doesn't have a complicated long-term roadmap. Excuse me. What Pillars does is it backs the XRP Ledger assets with a higher floor price every 2 weeks. So essentially using the Riley economic system, which is we started with 1 million tokens, 100 million tokens, and we sell 1 million tokens per month at market. And then with those tokens, we are actioning the utility of the voters holding PLR token. So they vote on which XRP Ledger assets they want to have a higher floor price. And then those votes denote the action of the utility and where we're going to send funds to each of the pillar projects or the pillar funds. Now, there's currently 10 different pillar projects or pylons, as we call them, which is all of the RES tokens, Reaper, Ascension, Box, Ark Institute, and Pillars itself. And we also have Treasury, we have Schmeckles, StakeX, Zoj, and I'm forgetting XStick. There we go. I didn't forget you. So with these 10 different projects, we're able to create basically a fund of XRP that backs each of them. And every 2 weeks, we add XRP to that fund and we place a limit buy order for the entire supply of the project. So now with Reaper, which we've talked about before in episode 27, we were just buying and destroying other cryptocurrencies, all of those projects included. So we're reducing the total circulating supply. With Ascension, we're buying and distributing. So we're increasing the velocity of money as well as the demand. And then with Pillars, we're raising the floor. So we're basically squeezing the value of each of those assets at the center. So as the supply goes down, the floor goes up and the demand goes up. And so inevitably, each of those projects would appreciate in value. And it also creates a safety net that the SEC and regulators have completely failed to provide for this space. There is almost nothing out there that will actually back their tokens or back their ETFs, even stocks, even bonds. They're not really backed by anything. We're taking an asset, XRP, which is a completely third-party asset, and we're putting limit buy orders on the books with the asset in store for the entire supply. So that floor price cannot go below that. Doesn't matter how much they sell into it. It's only going to go up every 2 weeks as we add funds in XRP to that pillar fund. Now the price will also go with XRP. If XRP goes up in price, then the value of that XRP that is backing it goes up with it as well. So what that means is there's a bottom which any of these tokens could ever go to, after which 100% of the supply would be sold into the pillar fund. Anything sold into the pillar fund is burned.
I gotta tell you that I don't know why, but my brain is like I was following you, then I wasn't. I was following you until I wasn't following you. So I don't know if this helps. But I have this
Yep.
for folks, and hopefully, can you guys see it good enough, or do you need me to make it the full screen? Because if you could just tell me in the chat if you want me to make it full, so that that we can talk about. So according to this, it says up to 500,000 of the PLR, and that is the pillar token, right? It's a token, not a coin, right?
Totally.
Let's see. So it's minted every 2 weeks and sold at market. So it's kind of similar to what oh yeah, Curly Bill says full screen. Okay. So that's similar to what you do with the others, right?
That's correct.
They're selling at the market. And then so this is saying 45% is your piece of the pie. So that means what does that mean exactly? Is your piece of the pie?
So that's the XRP that is distributed equally per every PLR held. So if you hold 1% of all PLR in circulation, and we raised 1,000 XRP, for example, and that's the 45% of pie that's going out, then you would receive 1% of that 1,000 XRP or 10 XRP.
Okay. And then 5% of the money goes to administrative fee, which makes sense. And then 5% goes to this pillar fund, non-voting. Yep. What does that mean? Non-voting.
So that means that because there would be a conflict of interest if you could vote for pillars itself to have a pillar fund, we wanted to make sure that it was fair and equitable to all of the other tokens that are on the PLR or pillars voting list. So instead, we just locked it in at 5% of those funds will always go towards pillars itself to create a pillar fund for it. So there is a floor price for PLR itself, as well as all of the other pylons.
Okay. And then 45% is added to pillar funds based on vote percentages, limit orders placed for total supply of the pylon tokens. So, okay. So 45% limit orders placed for total supply of pylon tokens. The pylon tokens are all these other tokens, right? The schmeckles and that. And so out of the 500,000 that are minted every 2 weeks and sold at market, whatever the funds created or garnered from that, you take 45% of those funds, and then you place limit orders for the pylon tokens. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. But I know this could be it might sound a little more complicated than it really is. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to pull up on XP Market, and I'll show everyone exactly what it is we're doing.
Okay.
And I'm going to log in here with my dedicated Pillars phone, because I have a phone just for this. There's so many wallets.
Yep.
I have so many phones, Patrick. I was telling Optimistic Prime, I log into this with this one and this with that one, and it's tough. And then, of course, with all my protocols I got for making sure that I'm not using the same password for everything, it's like crazy. Remember how I did it. Yeah, for some reason, my brain today is, I'm like, wow, what? What are you telling me?
When it comes to having multiple phones, I have a couple of Android phones, as well as when it comes to Apple devices, I have an iPhone, and then I have an iPod that's just outdated.
Old
just
school
to make
iPod.
sure. It's weird. iPod Touch, honestly, the last time I thought about it,
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
When it comes
iPod
to
Touch. My goodness.
being able to access these different platforms, I try to test out
Yes.
whenever I work on different software platforms or web platforms, making sure that it all can actually be
Function.
seamless, no matter what device, at least to
Right.
the best ability. If it's so outdated, then I just gotta throw my hands up and like, that's tough. Like,
So
All right, let's see what.
yeah,
This is
so
what
here
this is
you,
the portal.
yeah, so this is xpmarket.com, and you can
Okay.
see I've got some wallets logged in here, just a few.
Yep.
But this top one here is the Schmeckles wallet. So let's just take a look. We're going to go over to the DEX, and we're going to find Schmeckles itself. And you can see down here we have the open orders or the trade history. Now I realize this might be a little bit small for everybody looking or watching, so I'll try to enlarge that.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So now it's not necessarily in order, but I kind of wish it was. XP Market, if you're listening, it would be really cool if these were in order by date. But what you'll see is that it went from 993 XRP here and 596,000 tokens with a floor price of 0.0016 for the entire supply of Schmeckles. For those that don't know, Schmeckles started with 1 million tokens, and we've been burning since, and they're down about 40%.
Wow.
And you can see that it reduced from that down to right now it's at 589, and the floor price has risen to 0.0025 from the 0.0016 it was at just a few months ago.
Wow.
And with that reduced supply and the increase in XRP backing it up to currently about 1,500. So I know that doesn't seem like a lot to some people, right? If we're talking about how many XRP are backing an entire token. But because we're increasing the total amount of XRP in the pillar funds every 2 weeks, this continues to grow irregardless of the price of XRP and irregardless of the price of pillars or Schmeckles. Now, as this floor rises, we continue to rise our floor price, and we're also reducing the total amount of Schmeckles in circulation. What that does is it means that inevitably there will be 100% XRP backing Schmeckles in value at this current price or current Schmeckles value, and that will either rise or there's going to be the ability to sell 100% of the token supply for 100% value return.
So can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So in Simon, Simon knows that I don't have a lot of experience with this, but I'm starting to dip my toe into the DeFi space and whatnot. So is what you're telling me? Are you telling me that that Schmeckles and XRP are a pair in that that DEX that you just put up there?
That's correct.
And so because you've paired it up and you have to have equal amount of XRP to equal amount of your Schmeckles, and by buying them, you're buying them and then you're burning, so you're decreasing your supply. You're still truing it up with the XRP that's there. So in essence, are you like you're creating the demand for your token in a controlled way, maybe?
So not necessarily the demand. You're creating a floor.
Floor price
is the price of the total amount of XRP in the pillar fund divided against the total supply of the token. Now, as that floor price is rising every 2 weeks, that means that the minimum value of those tokens is worth more tomorrow than it is today, every single day. So we are appreciating the value of those tokens while also reducing the supply. So it means that if you if you were to continue to do this and reduce schmeckles, let's say down till there's only 1,000 schmeckles left in all of existence, and by that point we could have 100,000 or more XRP backing schmeckles.
Yeah, per schmeckle.
Now that means that each schmeckles is worth, 100 XRP each. Whatever XRP is worth is completely irrelevant to this situation.
And then even when it comes to the chat, it does prevent price manipulation to devalue it if somebody buys a huge amount of said token. It's able to prevent that.
Because of the because of the pairing that they did, this is kind of the big thing with the crypto space and the digital asset space at large. There's always been the movement to get away from fiat currency, the dollar. So if you're getting away from that, then you're not pairing your assets up with that. What these fine gentlemen have done is taken their tokens and other assets that they have, and they are pairing it up with XRP, saying we no longer, in a roundabout way, my words, not theirs, we no longer recognize the US dollar. How many US dollars it takes to get XRP is irrelevant. It's how many XRPs it takes to get some schmeckle. That's where it's at. And by them creating that floor, saying, hey, today it costs what was it? 0.0025 XRP per X amount of schmeckles. Tomorrow it's going to be 0.206 or 0.207, and so on and so forth. And as they raise that and they get rid of the supply, see, when you get rid of the supply, you're removing what Kai was just a function of what Kai was just talking about there, from coming in and buying a whole bunch. Well, you can't buy a whole bunch if there ain't a whole bunch on the table or in circulation, right? That's one of the benefits about pretty much burning your supply, so to speak. And one of the benefits of having, well, here you go. Here's a great example on a side note. The coin, the coin that you're an ambassador with, they created Shikaka. They created a whole bunch of Shikaka coins, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a purpose to that, and these guys have used a portion of they've incorporated that strategy in order to ensure the survival of their project and the value of that project remains within that token. I know that might be a lot. You might need to go rewind what I just said.
I mean,
that's basically what's happening.
I'm gonna replay this many
times.
What?
Call me tomorrow. We can talk about it. No, I'm just kidding.
So question. So Patrick.
Yep.
Is the only place that someone can buy schmeckles, for example, and we're just schmeckles is just one of the tokens in this pylon. But is that the only place that they can buy it? Is that how?
So any XRP Ledger DEX sells any XRP Ledger token. So there is xpmarket.com. I highly recommend, is a great DEX interface, as well as sologenic.com. And there are many others that can also be done directly on the Zaman wallet.
Okay. So if they're able to buy something directly, this is where I get confused. If they're able to buy something directly, like on the Zaman wallet, you just showed us something on the XRP market and you've got it paired up. How does it stop someone from buying a bunch on the Zaman wallet if they're buying it directly? How is it attached to what you're doing on that particular DEX on the XRP market?
So on the XRP ledger, the DEX, or the decentralized exchange, all of the DEXs are native to the ledger. So it's all the same DEX. So whether you're buying on Sologenic or you're buying on Zaman wallet or you're buying on XP market, you are connecting to the same order book, and all of those order books are receiving or buying from the exact same order.
So it's kind of, those are all like little windows or I don't know what you're saying, into the actual main one.
Exactly.
So That makes sense.
Think about it like this: walk into a bank. How many lines you have? How many employees are the bank tellers? But it's still the bank. Right?
Or it's
And-
kind of like you have a bank account, but it doesn't matter which ATM you go to. They're all accessing the same.
But yep, it's all the same place. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now, if someone wants to participate in this pylon, to be part of the pylon token supply, do they have to agree to only pair their token up with then XRP?
No, not at all. That would have no effect on it whatsoever. They do need to be on the XRP ledger for us to support them currently, and that doesn't mean that's always going to be that way. But right now, we're only backing XRP ledger assets, and only the assets that we find the most reputable and the most worthy of that backing. But with that, in the future, it's definitely possible that Bitcoin could come along and need maybe 1 or 2 XRP to back the entire supply. So that might be a thing.
I see. I like
it's there.
Huh? Little jab.
Huh?
You never know. You never know. So, okay. So if somebody wants to participate in this pillars, how would they go about participating in this? Where would they go to find out more?
So at xrpillars.com, you can, or XRP ILLARS.com. You can go on there and learn about the token, read the white paper. I encourage everybody, for every project ever, please read the white paper so you know what it is you're getting yourself into. But simply by holding Pillars token, PLR token, on any decentralized XRP ledger wallet, self-custody, you're in full control of your funds. You can sell and leave at any time. It doesn't hurt our feelings. You can be in full control, and we will send you XRP as a passive income every 2 weeks simply by holding. On top of that, you'll be able to go in and vote for which pylon projects you want to support.
So you're mentioning, I guess I didn't put enough weight on that part, the passive income of XRP. So is that the first part, the 45%, your piece of the pie?
That's
so
right.
however much you own, like you gave that example earlier, if you had 1% or 2% of the pot or whatever it is, that's the amount of XRP that would be distributed to your wallet, right?
That's correct.
And every month. And so, yeah, wow. I mean, again, this is an incredible idea, and it's being done on a small scale, but I think you're actually you're creating a model to show that it can be done. And
exactly.
it's pretty interesting. I mean, you're able to work out the bugs and check it out and watch it in real time on a small scale, but can you imagine if you did this on a large scale? Like
exactly. And of course, not financial advice, but this is built to grow organically. It will continue to rise the floor prices. Inevitably, as XRP appreciates in value, we are also bringing down the total circulating XRP by placing it into those limit buy orders and placing it into those pillar funds. Now, as XRP does appreciate in value, we have the ability to take up to 50% of each pillar fund and transfer that into something like RLUSD, the coming Ripple stablecoin, to preserve that value in a potential future bear market. Now, what that would effectively do is it gives that pylon token a much stronger position in the next bear market than it had in the one prior, and it preserves that value. And then we would be able to reallocate that into XRP at what we would, as a company, determine is the likely bottom.
So is that something that you guys would vote on doing, or would that just be an automatic, like, we're doing this because we don't want to lose the value of our token, so we're gonna transfer it into a stable coin?
Yeah, up to 50% would be transferred into a stable, and that is based on a quorum between the founders of Pillars. There are 5 core founders for the Pillars project, and 3 out of the 5 would have to agree that it is the correct time and place to do so. But for the most part, it would be a beneficial move to ensure that the value of that token can only go down so much with XRP if XRP were, for example, going into a steep decline.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just wonder if I'm sorry. I would just wonder if the price, if there'd be like a specific target price that so when folks come into the project, they're very well aware from the get-go that, hey, if XRP goes down to 20 cents or whatever, these will be transferred to a stable coin or whatever.
Ideally, we're looking for a parabolic blow-off top, and that blow-off top is where we would be transferring into 50% stable, and then we would allow the parabolic return to come down so that we preserved at least 50% of that top value. Oh. And then as we reallocate in XRP, we would have however many more XRP is reflective of that decrease in XRP's value as opposed to the stable coin. And now we would have a much higher floor price.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Kai.
I would actually say this is like a very interesting, it's not an innovation as to when it comes to modern monetary theory.
I'm just gonna say
a lot of modern monetary theory are based off of the whims and woes of whoever is interpreting the data.
Yeah.
Of you could say the job market, all the way to how much money is speculative to be in the economy, and how much people are actually like holding and how much people believe. And then it's just essentially just based off of coercion. What's interesting about this is that it's able to do it on a mathematical basis, as opposed to it being restricted to just people's thoughts in the moment, like, oh,
people's decision.
Yeah.
Feeling.
And that's what usually leads to a lot of you could say turbulent behavior in regards to economics.
I mean, I was thinking the same thing as he was talking. Like when your current investments, when you invest in something, they're kind of making those decisions. Like when you move into a fund or whatever, they're kind of making those decisions in the background too, kind of for you. So that you don't lose all the value of your, 401k or whatever it might be. So I do get that. This is just the portion that Pillars is directing. Like your 45%, still your 45, or the 45% that gets divided up by the holders based on the amount of percentage that you hold in that, out of that bucket. That's still yours, right? It's the other piece. And then that's just to really be able to retain the value. And I guess I was thinking, initially you were saying when the price went down to move it, you're saying no, when it's getting a blow off top and we made a shit ton of money off of something, we want to be smart and take a little off to the side to retain that capital. So that we don't have it, just how they always tell you to have an exit strategy where you take profits on the way up and on the way down, kind of thing, right? Is that really
exactly? Exactly. And to put this in kind of an analogy of the outside world, right? So if you were to declare bankruptcy, there's something in business and in law that basically denotes the order of who your debtors are and who is a creditable lender and who is a unsecured debtor. So if you have things like personal loans and credit cards and things that are not backed by what's called collateral, that unbacked loan, no collateral loan, is an unsecured debt. So if you declare bankruptcy, nobody is getting anything for that unsecured debt, but your mortgage, because there is an asset there, there is a house there. If your mortgage is usually your largest debt, so that debtor is the first one to receive any kind of payout from your estate or from your assets of what is remaining. So they're going to receive most likely your house, but they might receive the value of auctioning your car and other things because it's all going into that first most valuable asset. Now with this, what we're doing is we're collateralizing all of these pylon projects. We've made it so there is, if you declare bankruptcy and everybody decides, nope, we're done, we're out right now, we're just selling, there is a minimum. And it's not that that minimum is only the bank that happened to hold the liability on your mortgage. It's everybody that holds that token has an equal price that is the bare minimum they can get out of that asset for, because it is now collateralized.
I want to welcome, we have 312 people watching the Dip a Toe Show. Welcome to Dip a Toe, my friends. Thank you so much. Smash that like button and share this out. And please follow our channel. Help us grow our channel. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, my mind's blown. Wow. So I'm definitely interested in this. I mean, all of your projects are well thought out. And this, I mean, this one as well. And the thing I like about it too is that you are helping these smaller projects, you know, kind of get themselves on the map a bit. And I don't know. I think it's kind of like helping each other, right? Well, I'm not super familiar with all of these, but
it's a scenario where all boats rise together. And XRP is the water. It's the drips beneath our boats, and we're going to continue to collect it.
I love it.
I love it. A flood.
Watch the water, people.
Oh shoot!
Watch the water, my friends. I'm just saying, watch that water, my friends. Some of you might know, or you might have heard that once or twice. Wow. So is there anything else that you'd like to talk about pillars before we move on to box? Because I'm chomping at the bit about this box thing.
So I'll just add one final thought to pillars, because I know we took a little more time than intended on that. But I did see a question about how we might use RLUSD in the future in the RES ecosystem. And Pillars is actually going to be one of the primary beneficiaries of that, because RLUSD is going to embolden and empower the AMM considerably. So those same pillar funds that are placing the floor price will be able to also simultaneously provide an AMM to produce a passive income, which then we will be able to pay out to both PLR holders as well as Pylon holders. So what that does is now we have deflationary tokens that are also being purchased and distributed to a wide audience through Ascension, deflationary by Reaper, backed by the floor of pillars, but also we can now add passive income in XRP to any XRP ledger asset. So that's a game changer that RLUSD will enable because it's going to make those AMMs much more effective.
Wow. Wow. I'm like, There was another question in here. Curly Bill says, I need to have James Ray from Schmeckles on here.
I do second that recommendation.
We'll get the Schmeckle guy. Hey, if I can become an ambassador for Coin, I need to learn about. I said I'm dipping my toe into learning about these meme coins. I've never really paid much attention to any of the meme coin type of things, and I'm assuming that a lot of these Pylon projects are considered meme coins, right? Most of them.
So only two of them, only Zoj and Schmeckles would be considered meme coins.
Okay, and then the other ones are different.
So aside from the 5 RES, which are all utility tokens, there is Treasury, which is focused on education, and they have a reward utility token called Utilex. They pay out for
Don't they have Timmy token? Don't they have Timmy too?
So I don't know nothing about Timmy token, I'll be honest, but I know
thought
what the got. And then there's Xstick is a NFT project, which is what Xstick is not just like any other NFT project, but they have an actual artist who is honestly one of the best street artists that you'll be able to find. If you've heard of Banksy, you haven't heard of Sumi Stick in the same place. I don't think they've ever been seen together. So Xstick's a pretty awesome project. And then we also have StakeX, which provides decentralized staking. And am I missing one? Treasury Bangers. What do we got here? Schmeckles. Yep. No, that's it. That's all.
That was it. Wow. Well, I would definitely like to maybe get the gang on and and learn more about those types of projects. I mean, the thing is that there's so many projects out there. And I see these things floating around, but I don't know a lot about them. Why I would choose to invest in them or give my time to them and whatnot. And so it's really good to have someone like yourself and Kai here to support these projects, because you're kind of putting your name in and your backing on a lot of these things in your reputation. And you've done a lot of the legwork to create these partnerships and associations with people, and so that gives it a little bit of added weight for myself to consider looking into some things like that. Somebody wanted to know if what do they think if you're seeing XRP get 2 or 3 digits in any time in the near future? I think is what the person said.
Yes, I am seeing it.
You are seeing it. Okay. Yeah. Boone, Timmy NFTs. So I have to say, I was on I popped in a space one time and it was Treasury, and I was listening to him talk and I was very interested. And the reason I started listening to him is because they said Timmy. And that happens to be my brother's name, and we call him Timmy and Timmy. And so I will never forget that. So, all right. So we put all the links for the Pillars project and Pylon and the white paper and everything is within the show notes on both Rumble and YouTube. And I think I even did it on X. But now I would like to turn my attention to Mr. Kai. And you could tell us a little bit about this box project that you've got going, built on XRP. I did sign up for it a little while ago, and I made a couple posts on there, and I was navigating around. Tell us a little bit about this for the folks that aren't familiar with that.
Sure thing. So Box is a social media company, and also generally a media company that is able to actually give you information about what's going on in the world, ranging from emerging markets, Web3, AI, technology, politics, and if people want to get involved in that space, even personal living. It is a social media platform that's able to actually reward you for your engagement. How? Because we're actually willing to share the revenue that we generate, no matter where you are in the world, to you from our advertisers and sponsors. What's interesting is that traditional social media platforms focus on a bottom-up model, and it focuses on exploitation. They're going to we already know our data is being sold.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Yes.
Now, if we are going to be progressing towards this direction, why are you not getting anything for the data that's being sold?
Mm-hmm.
Good question. Why? Why aren't we? Tell me. Tell me why. Tell me why, Kai. I want to know.
And it's that's a difficult question to answer. I would say greed, but all it takes is somebody who may be part of that pipeline, who is higher up. Maybe they're the head of a specific platform or said platform that you're utilizing to say, because yeah, that's it. Because
I can.
We need to have actually different platforms that are able to have a to push towards a decentralized share of our information that we share with one another. Like the value of the information we share with one another is so important. Even the fact that we're talking with one another like this.
Right.
And then when it comes to the community that is around each and every one of us, it seems to be funneling value, not in any shared fact. That last comment from Crypto Ace. Not in any.
We won't
shared
put
value,
that one
but
on there.
It aims to suck value from everybody as much as possible, and then coerce you to believe whatever. Because then we can create false narratives, right? No, we don't do that with Box. The intention of Box is to create that foundation of collaboration. We are able to understand what is going on in the world, and we actually share the profits. The most modern platforms right now that are also succeeding outside of Web3, that goes into like Patreon, all the way to I can name a few, but YouTube has actually started to take up the Patreon model as well when it comes to the tips. Like, like if people are actually doing the work to want to educate, we actually are taking that into account, as well as making sure that we are sharing our wins with our community.
So tell me this. So first of all, guys, if you want to look at this while we're talking, the website is builtonxrp.com. And you can check out the website. It's called Box. It was really simple to create an account. I was able to create an account really easily. And I noticed, did you want to share
I can share
your screen? Yeah, and kind of go over it, or I can if you want to do it. I think you should be able to do it just fine.
Yep, I gotcha.
All right.
No worries.
Yeah, and so your vision then, it sounds like, is you've created this a social media website, right? A community, so to speak, right? Platform. There you go. Platform. Where folks can actually create their own content, and they're going to be making some money off the content. And then those of us that are watching or reading or interacting with this content have an opportunity to make money. Is that the way I understand it, or no?
That is correct. If you are an active participant, the more there's going to be an algorithm for the weight of your participation, for you to be able to earn passive income from simply participating.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me chiming in there, Kai, as far as the tokenomics, the reason that this is built under the RES and the Riley economic system, we are using a modified RES system, although we are not minting 1 million tokens per month. We're not selling anything at market at all with this. What we're doing is, as we bring in revenue from the advertisers, as you can see here, we have BizBlocks advertising already on the left-hand side of the screen, and we will have some Google AdSense. We'll be selling polls and ad placements, surveys, press releases, things of that nature.
Where are
And-
you? I'm sorry. Where are you seeing that they're the advertisers? Where do I see that?
It looks integrated right here. Like if you to the right,
Yeah.
The way that our advertisements are going to be designed even further. Yes, we're also in the process of Google advertisements, but when it comes to custom advertisements, it should look natural as well.
Yeah, I like it.
That you don't.
I didn't even realize that was an advertisement, to be honest. And so then I just saw the biz blocks. That's what you're talking about. I clicked on that at the bottom there, and it popped up. Oh, very cool. Okay.
So the idea is what we're going to be doing is raising revenue, selling ad space, selling your interaction with the advertisers, and then we're bringing in US dollars, regular ad revenue like any media company does. But 50% of that revenue is going to market purchase XRP and send that XRP to the users of builtonxrp.com based on their engagement. So it's the number of engagements you make per month times the number of box tokens you hold equals your impact for the month. And then that impact is your percentage of the total vote. So that's much like other RES systems, although in this case, we are able to incentivize with the box tokens solely, and we don't have to use anything for funding from internal to the XRP ledger. Instead, we are bringing money from outside the XRP ledger in the form of US dollars into the XRP ledger to distribute it in the form of XRP.
Wow.
And then we're not only going to be generating revenue just from you could say on-site ads, because we are also going to be enabling broadcasting as well. So
Ooh.
Yep. To make sure like this stream
I don't have that on mine yet.
It will soon be able to be broadcasted as well. And we do have we're very specific with moderation at first here until we figure out like a good decentralized way of like how do we vote on like what's good content, what's bad content. Otherwise things just turn into Twitter, right? Not what used to be Twitter. And then we're able to grab revenue not only from YouTube, but this also includes Twitch. This also includes and it also includes Patreon as well. In order to increase that floor when it comes to the buyback or buying of XRP. And then being able to utilize the value to increase the value of those box tokens. So it is really if you participate, you're able to earn. That's it.
Right.
And then the more people that participate, then the value will naturally go up. And it's just completely a fair market.
And I do want to point out when you sign up to this, so you will do a KYC AML, so we'll know that you're in fact not a bot. You are a one-of-one individual, and if, of course, any individual was posting something that was malicious, we would know exactly who that individual was. If it was illegal, we would record and report that to appropriate authorities, all those things. But we will also be giving every new person who comes to the platform and signs up $100 for signing up. So basically you're getting paid just to join the platform in the form of box tokens, and then you're able to earn based on your engagement. So there is really no downside to joining this, and nothing is necessarily expected of you financially to contribute. You're only being asked to participate and to use it.
Yep.
So what you're telling me is back in the day when I was a super fan of Duran Duran and I was interacting with them in every way that I possibly could, if they were on Box, I probably would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, essentially. And so when you're doing your live streams just like this in the future, and you're live streaming it through Box, you'll be able to link it up to your YouTube and link it up to your Twitch and your X or Twitter and stream it from Box to those things. But the
Ooh.
people who are watching it on Box, they'll be earning an engagement point for watching you on Box, and they'll be earning income for watching you on Box. So people watching you on YouTube and X and Twitch, well, they're not getting anything for it. They're just missing out.
So here's my question. So right now, like, I mean, we use StreamYard. By the way, we have 399 folks watching this live stream this evening. We appreciate you. We love you. Now we're up to 401. But we're streaming to multiple platforms from StreamYard. And so are you saying that we could then use Box as a place where we're going to live stream right from Box and share that out to these others, or no?
You can use StreamYard with your embed link. If you have an embed link and you set it up, you will be able to automatically already stream to all those other platforms, and then it's just embedded into our platform automatically. And if it's connected to your account, you're fine.
So what you're saying is, if I have an account on Box, once this is all good to go, if I have an account on Box and I have Box attached to my YouTube, my Twitter, my Rumble, all those other places, once I get the embed link from StreamYard and post that to Box, then it
will just show up.
It's gonna go up to everywhere. It's gonna go up everywhere then.
It will go up. It will go up everywhere from StreamYard, but your embed link is just an additional outlet channel.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're not going to be able to Box stream to those places. You'll still have to use a third party like StreamYard in order to stream to Rumble and YouTube and those type of things. You're just saying Box, you're going to be able to embed
your live additional streams. Option.
Yeah. Like you could embed on your website and embed live stream, right? Where they could go to a website and watch your live stream there or whatever. You're going to allow people to do that on Box, where kind of like what they're doing with Twitter right now, where we can live stream directly. So would I be able to say I didn't have any other platform at all? Would I be able to live stream on Box just itself then, or no?
Yes, you could. But I mean, like, if you're going to still need to be able to use a third party for streaming, because we're not going to be providing overlays or overlay capabilities, etc. We are specifically an outlet for distributing video content.
Yep.
So you could, but you would need to still use another platform in order to distribute said content.
Yep.
Right.
For now.
That is true. For now.
Streamlabs OSB, would be another platform that one could do. Embed it right there, and then it goes to Box right away and all your other platforms.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cool. That's awesome.
Climber XYZ says no bots, no scammers. I'm sold. And I mean that's part of the whole KYC part where you're not going to allow those bot type accounts then.
They would actually, because it would be do you know how many wallets you would need to create? And do you know it's not free to make a wallet?
Right.
Because when it comes to verification, we can have anonymous users, but what we're doing is actually going to be structuring it by if you're verified, that's what you'll mostly see. And then if people want to click a button like see unverified users, sure. But then it's you want to just watch bots? You want to just read bot information?
Yeah, and without KYC or AML, they'll be unable to comment and unable to interact. They'll only be able to view what's going on. So at the same time, of course, we'll be making the suggestion, hey, sign up. You're going to get $100, KYC, AML. Here you go. That's how we're going to get people looking, and then we're going to get people engaged. And we are also planning a affiliate marketing program, essentially, where we'll be providing a code, and by referring other people to come and sign up, not only will they get their box, you'll get additional box for getting people to come and accept the free money. So that's going to be kind of the grow now button as we go from beta to live.
Yep. And then there was also 2 questions. I believe there was one from Crypto Ace. Is all content posted on Box going to be?
Oh, let's see. Where is this at?
It is
Second
758.
from the bottom.
Oh,
That's a different one.
7:58. You said.
On my end, we have different
Oh.
time zones. So.
This one?
All right, there we go.
Is all
There it is.
content
Good
posted
job,
on
Simon.
Box going to be retroactively secured and stored in a decentralized blockchain system? I'm concerned about the security of Patrick's deck. No, honestly, no. I think that is a very risky operation if all content posted is permanently on a blockchain. Because do you know the fear? Like, what if you have a typo? Even the smallest thing. Like, what if you have a typo?
The typo effect. I love it. That's facts.
From a data storage standpoint, storing that much, mostly nothing, probably wouldn't make a lot of sense for a lot of data storage providers, and we wouldn't want to provide the payment to the data warehouse that is storing all of those ancient things. But from a technological standpoint, there will be other things like IPC and or ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, and other Filecoin things that, as those come along and they eventually have decentralized hosting, then that's potentially something that would create a Wayback Machine on the blockchain. As that happens, we'd be happy to explore it, but we're not looking to do it ourselves.
Yeah, that's
So right now, when someone posts on there, like, how long can they expect their stuff to be on there?
as long as we decide. Like, at this point, that's centralized.
Yeah,
This point,
I mean,
At this point, yeah.
you realize
I
we're
guess I
now-
never really thought about it. I never really thought about it when you're on social media, like when you're on Twitter and those types of things, and you're posting things. I don't know, what I posted a year ago. Like, is it still there? Is it gone?
So
I don't know.
most social medias do maintain things back to the beginning of your account, and we probably would as well.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a data storage cost associated to that, and as we grow as a company, and we are able to put our platform onto our own servers, then that's naturally something we would most likely accommodate. Currently, of course, we are hosting through third-party things, so it's all a little bit up in the air at the moment.
You're just kind of building the bones now and working out, seeing how this concept works, really, and giving folks an opportunity to see what it would be like to actually get paid for your content and for watching content, right?
That is correct.
And in a little bit of a different setting than your traditional Twitter and those types of platforms.
Yeah.
Right?
And I just want to say, from like a high level, not just strategy, but more of a sociology aspect, because of course Kai alluded to this, and Kai has a sociology and psychology background, as do I, with psyops and forensic psychology. We want to do what is best for humanity from a moral and ethical standpoint. Mm-hmm. And part of that means incentivizing things that are good for humanity while disincentivizing the bad, naturally, in any sort of sociological experiment, if you will. So in this case, what we've done is, as opposed to X or Twitter, where basically they are incentivized to gain followers, and then by gaining followers, they are paid for it, because once you have 200,000 followers or whatever, you're sharing ad revenue. But what is their actual incentive to do? Their incentive is to lie to you It's to hype things up. It's to give you false information. Bitcoin's going to be $1 billion tomorrow, and they're going to gain 1,000 followers for saying so.
God,
Now,
I should try that.
Exactly. Give it a shot. It will work. I
Okay.
That's-
I'll probably
But-
burn on social media hell for it, but that's all right. Sorry.
Yeah,
Patrick.
exactly. And they use AIs and filters and all sorts of things with the Instagram. I'm not going to get into, right? But basically, it's the internet of the fake and the immoral.
We got 420.
Yep. So
Take the
if
day off.
they're fake and they're immoral and they're unethical, they're likely to do very well on social media. Just like certain other aspects of society where there's certain cultures where if you flash a lot of bling and you use drugs and money and expensive cars and all these things that are probably not at all realistic for the people watching you, then you're going to do really well because you're selling a false dream. With Vox,
Yep. There's a documentary, Netflix documentary called The Social Dilemma that explains exactly how the algorithm traditionally works for those platforms. And then I'll let you
Sweet. I
continue
so
here.
needed something to watch over the
So
next
with
couple
Vox,
days.
what we've done is we'll be able to incentivize honesty, truth, and credibility. So you'll be rated on how credible you are. So if you go and make a 30, 60, 90-day prediction on the price of Bitcoin, and you say it's going to be $1 million in 30 days, but 30 days hits, all of your followers are going to get a notification to go in and rate you based on not what you're saying for the future, but based on what you said in the past and has come and gone. And now they're going to say this person was completely wrong, somewhat wrong, neutral, somewhat correct, or absolutely correct. And that's going to form your reputation rating.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to find
Definitely
those people who probably have almost no followers on Twitter right now because they're just good, honest people. And they're going to rise to the top like the cream rising through the corn so that you can have people of actual credibility and legitimacy and morals and ethics who are able to contribute to the conversation. And then beyond that, for the new person who is coming in and they're trying to understand alternative finance, they're trying to understand cryptocurrency, they're trying to dip a toe and get in the door. So those people are going to be able to go and look at the reputation ratings of different expert panels in different categories. And they say, okay, I want to learn about real estate today. Here's the top 100 rated individual accounts based on what they've said in the past and their accuracy in regards to real estate. So now you'll be able to go and dip your toe and follow an expert panel that says the most credible things. It's not going to be Bit Boy with his cocaine coming off of his nose. It's going to be people that are worth following.
I almost busted a brain vessel thinking of like Bit Boys or like on YouTube. There's like this big Bitcoin. Shilling cheese.
I caught the smoke for 420 Climber. It was 420, and I was like rudely interrupting Patrick so I could say it's 420. Take the day off because that's what I say every time it's 420.
We just say get back to work. You good now? You good? Yeah. Okay, get back to work. And here's a snack. Here's your juice box.
So this whole concept is quite different.
Yeah, I like it.
I would think some folks would be a little bit put off or thinking that you're going to try to control the content, right? Like, does it like censorship and that sort of thing? Some people might be worried about that aspect of it. So who's going to be doing the policing initially?
So this is I may actually be able to say something about this when it comes to moderation. So if we understand the intention of the platform and when it comes to guidelines, there is a very interesting thing when it comes to, is it going to be mostly bots what is actually going to be creating value, right? Because we, in our alpha stage, we're going to be soon in beta, and I'll talk more about that in a moment here. But right now, a lot of moderation is based off of the opinion, is utilizing bots on different platforms that are based off of the opinions of people, not the opinions of value, just the opinions of people.
Just the opinion. Okay.
So if we do understand what is going to, like, what we can collectively vote as a community, because eventually this should be completely decentralized, but that experience, it needs to come from somewhere. And then as more people are able to moderate, it's not restricted to just our team. It should be open to people who are willing to also participate in moderation. And this is where it can, we still have a lot to think about, because who's moderating, right? Who is allowed to moderate? Because that creates another layer. And then who's overseeing that? What's overseeing that? How is that being voted on?
That's my question.
There is a problem to be solved there that unfortunately we do not have an immediate answer to.
Right.
And what we've essentially decreed for right now, and agreed amongst the founders of Box, is that there are only two things that will strictly be forbade or censored or removed and not allowed on the platform, and that is violence and sexuality. And by sexuality, I mean pornography. We're not Elon Musk here. We're not trying to have so
violence.
You don't want me to type in the wrong thing into the search and actually see something that I was shocked the other day when I'm looking up something on Twitter and I'm like, holy smoke. Oh, I think I looked up Box. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just saying.
Man,
make sure you put the right box in there.
We're live right now.
I know we are.
Yeah, so those are the things we don't want, right? But when it comes to what we would allow ethically, morally, and based on values, we're looking at what is legal. Of course, if something is illegal, then it shouldn't be on the platform. But beyond that, we are very much constitutional and ethical in our practice.
There may actually, it made me think that to write a note to have a simple code of ethics. What's crazy about social media, users do not follow a code of ethics. They have terms and services and like terms of use, but there's never any like code of ethics education. Just like, hey, by the way. So I am writing that down. That may be.
And I'd even compare that to my time in the Army, because they have ethics and values and creeds, but unfortunately, those things are not the laws. The laws are often elsewhere, and the ethics and values and creeds are not followed. So based off my experience, I would like to see things more morally and ethically and values-based as comes to moderation.
Well, and you know what? There's so many different kind of options out there. People are going to gravitate to where they're most comfortable, right? And so, if someone comes into the platform and they obviously, this doesn't agree and they want to do, they can just go elsewhere. I mean, we all have a choice, right? So if you want to belong to somewhere that has morals and ethics and values, and get paid for watching and posting and interacting and all of that, you can go to Box. If you want to type in the wrong thing and maybe see something you might not want to see, you might go to the other type of platform.
Especially if you're KYC'd, if you've been KYC'd and you want to do something really wild, I mean, wow. that is an extreme risk on the user. And and it's literally going to just be enforced by the platform and the community. Like, hey, that's not cool.
And just for the record, Ace, I see your comment, your last one, and yes, that actually is illegal.
And I won't put that on there.
And then the final thing that I would like to close when it comes to how we're progressing towards our beta, when it comes to connecting our first wallet, because with Zaman wallets, right? We are, I would say we're about, it may take an additional 3 weeks for us to be comfortable to push into beta, and then people will be able to also connect their wallet and begin verifying their KYC and begin earning with our platform, because we're also still going through the process of Google advertisements as well, to make sure that we can begin to organize our finances and everything, and then we can give a timeline of how we're going to be progressing, not only with that, but also our if you want an AI assistant to be able to give information, and then it can post on your behalf, and then you're able to also use it for other platforms.
Right.
Those
are you going to end up charging a fee for this? Like, as you end up building it out? I mean, this sounds like there's going to be quite a lot of functionality with this box site. Do you suspect that you would charge memberships for this type of thing? I mean, there's a lot of functionality here that you're talking about. So will there be a fee at some point?
Specifically when it comes to AI capabilities, or if you want to advertise, those would, that's essentially where our primary initial targets are for advertising. And we will have like small fees with, like, if you tip somebody, just
Now the AI avatars, and I'm sure Kyle want to speak to this as well, but so the AI avatars we're building are more of a deep dive avatar into a mimic or a copy of yourself. So essentially we can copy your way of writing. We're doing a deep dive into your psychology based on your answers provided. Nothing is obligated. But we're going to build a personality profile for you based off your answers. We're going to build a profile of how you typically write and type and communicate and speak.
Right.
As well as your actual voice and your actual image. And what it will do is it's going to allow you in the future to go in and say, I want to do a 30-minute podcast on this, and this. Here's my background. And instead of you having to actually do all the work of making a really nice professional product, it's going to do 95% of the work for you. And you're going to spend a couple minutes going through it and making sure that you like the outcome.
And make sure that you do your research on the whatever it's talking about.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm like, you might need another AI to fact check your AI. You know,
that will always be the warning. Otherwise,
well, especially if you know, as
but it's in your likeness.
Yeah, especially you know, with that's cool about the likeness and how that's going to go for the avatar. I think that's great. You know, but there's going back to what you guys were saying, to where kind of the self-policing within the platform, right, from your followers, and then, you know, platform going to followers. Hey, they missed the target on this. How do you guys still feel? You know, did they screw up? Sure, but did they do it intentionally? Is it this? Is it that? Right? Really digging down deep into what is this person's real intentions here? Like, they started off good, but now, to Patrick's example that he gave, 30 days, Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million. It's like, okay.
And that's why the reputation aspect is going to be extremely important.
Yes, exactly. So to your avatar might want to make sure they know about your reputation. You know, for sure.
Exactly. And you're risking your reputation by anything that you decide to publish.
No. I'll keep the AI over on this screen, and I'll be right here, because if anybody's gonna burn at the stake, it's gonna be this guy.
Crypto Ace. You'd be surprised.
I don't know if we wanted to replicate your insanity.
You know, I got a couple sites you go to find that out.
PCL 20 Ace. PCL.
If you're ever concerned about your sanity, or you just but you don't want to ask people, there's a few places you could go and see and do.
Is this the same Ace that graces us with his beautiful song, his beautiful voice on the crypto, the karaoke? Gotta be
That it is.
karaoke.
And I do see a future where there's a special karaoke room on Box. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Now my avatar be all about that.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So how close?
Very
So
cool.
you say you're several weeks out from actually being beta. So right now you're considered alpha. It says built on XRP alpha.
Alpha.
right now?
For us to officially be in beta, we are just wrapping up connecting Zaman wallets for verification, as well as KYC, our initial KYC, and some advertisement verification with
So I have questions.
Google.
So when it comes to the
ask a question.
KYC, oh, sorry.
Do you have to do a trust? Do you have to do a trust line with Box with Zum?
Yes, that will be required. But what's interesting is that when it comes to the KYC, that is specifically if you want to be receiving any compensation with US dollars.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Go ahead.
Now, the other aspect of this, and really the greatest barrier to entry for the XRP ledger in general, is that it costs you that initial XRP to set up the wallet and to open a trust line.
Right.
So because we're going to be letting people come and sign up, in which we're giving them $100 and then rewarding them XRP for their engagement, at some point we're going to be able to front load that box to them, help with the setup of their wallet, and then their engagement will pay that initial 12 XRP or whatever it is to pay for their wallet and their trust line.
The trust line.
And then it will begin to become income for them. So essentially we can remove that barrier to entry and provide them that entire thing kind of upfront on their behalf, and then they fill it in by doing the thing afterwards.
Cool.
So, couple questions now. To tail on that, the thing that pops in my head again is the scaling out. Like, where this does seem like a costly thing, right? Like the data store, the storage, and all this stuff. And I know you said, as other things are built out, that could, this could transition to than the way that we currently are. I would imagine that at the current state, it could only support so many folks at this beta stage. Are you setting some kind of a limit on the amount of beta users that you can handle as you're starting to get this into beta and doing the wallets and all of that? Like, are you going to try to control that in some way as far as how many users you're going to bring on initially?
So when it comes to scaling any software platform that has to do with data, though we're using third parties initially, if we do reach a point of critical mass, then we may need to actually, you could say, reconstruct, recode, rebuild a portion of it. This happened with Snapchat. This happened with Facebook. This happened with Twitter. Well, this happened with Twitter 5 times. Well, at least more than I have fingers, I swear. Where they've rebuilt it so many times. And when it comes to managing those resources, I do believe that it just comes down to how we handle the community, as well as like revenue and advertisers and sponsors and engagement, and our economics in the
Yeah.
long run. It should be healthy, and it's going to be very, very important for not only us to be transparent, but for everybody to also everyone on the ground floor to be able to give their thoughts, opinions on how to navigate these waters.
Right.
Because that was a huge question. Huge
Yeah.
question.
I mean, it's a huge question. I've actually been I've been on several platforms where they've tried to replicate X. There's a site called Anon Up or Anon Up that somebody was building, and I was kind of an early person in that, and a couple other ones. And what I noticed was, I mean, there'd be like freezing problems. There were just different issues that was happening when you're trying to build a social media platform. And so that's why I was just wondering, like, I mean, you guys are taking it to a whole nother level of this, and it's very
that's why
cool.
it just comes down to pacing. If we try to do everything at once, do you know what happens?
Yep.
Crash.
Boom.
Well, this is why I guess my lead into my question was to try to get the 470 people that are watching to realize that they probably should sign up for Box now in this early stage and become a beta tester in it. Because once it gets to you're learning how to do the wallets and you're doing all these kinds of things, being that this is a new and upcoming project, it could be pretty interesting if you got in now. Just saying.
Yeah,
Just saying.
and so we do have a couple designs for basically fundraising and how we would do this in the near future. One of our ideas is that we would offer a lifetime subscription to the premium account, which would include the AI avatar and things of that nature. So pricing, of course, is something we're still looking at. But that lifetime subscription would probably be offered to something like the first 100,000 users, which sounds like it's a lot, but in comparison, Kai had 100,000 users on his.
It's not hard to get 100,000.
It's not as many as it sounds like. So once we throw out that affiliate marketing and things of that nature, we do expect, we anticipate the potential that we could grow too fast. Could be a problem for us.
Right.
And at the same time, I'll say, you mentioned copies of Twitter, and I see Ace asked if we're going to be implementing aspects of Snapchat, but I would say that every other social media that has ever existed was more like a bare bones outline of what a social media should look like. I don't think that Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or any of those have ever truly been a social media. They're just showing what one might look like. This is really the first true social media, because this first time that we would actually be able to verify 100% that every single person on the platform is a real person. And while we're doing that, we're integrating not just talking, but we're integrating every aspect of their life. We're integrating the finances as well as their well-being. This is something that can be a career for some people. This is something that is going to educate them. This is something that is going to enable them to meet their future spouse, whatever it is. But we're making this into somewhere that people can live, not just somewhere that people go to engage with other people. So it's really a full, true first of its kind social media, where all the others, especially X and especially Elon Musk, is just a hollow, bare bones idea of what could be.
Right. So we're talking. I mean, in truth, we're talking about good behavior overall, not just behavior, but just at the core of everybody, and rewarding that not just monetarily, but just to further progress maybe that individual that has is a content creator that wants a career in that, and here they are, they're just being true to themselves, true to the community, true to the game. Just you know what I mean? And that's great. That's really, really, really great.
Throw it all under the Atum Industries umbrella at the end of the day, and this is a big scary word, but it is social engineering. So with Reaper Financial and going after the debt and changing the way that debt affects people, tokenizing labor, that's engineering the way that we manage our lives. So is Ascension and going after distribution and the way that people would be able to save for things like a car or a laptop, their first home. With Ark Institute, obviously, we're going after the way that we fundraise and also the quality of those charities. And with Box, we're going after the way that people engage with one another directly, and the way that they look to earn income by being credible. So we are effectively building a social engineering mega structure here that is going to affect multiple aspects of the way that people behave.
Wow.
Well, effectively how business is done.
Yeah. Someone's question for the ETA, the affiliate program, is Q1 of 2025.
Yep.
According to Box.
That is when it comes down to being able to, because our roadmap, everything we've said, we got to pace ourselves. Q1 2025 for an affiliate program, that is, we may do it earlier, and depending on how we get feedback and depending on our growth. I don't like to put out dates that are too quick, where it's like, oh, let's rush this at the sake of everything else.
No, right. Yeah, the bones have to be good. The bones has to be solid, right? And you have to know. That's why I was asking.
We have to be in live. We have to be in live.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the scaling and the amount of folks that can get on there, because that it's like you got that chance to get them in there and using it and enjoying it. And if they can, and if that was that and on up thing, it was like every time I went in it, I was like, my friends were there, some of my people were there, but the damn thing would freeze and I couldn't, it'd lock up, and I was like, and eventually I just stopped going. And it was great when it was working, but so this is super exciting.
There's a funny thing. I'm gonna sound pretty Gen Z right now. So Fortnite was in beta for about, they're quote unquote beta,
right?
For about 3-5 years with over 100. It's like 20 million players. 20 million players, kind of crazy, but they were in beta. So when it comes to the language of beta versus live and how we approach our milestones, we simply are focusing on quality assurance and making sure we're reaching our objectives. Because if we restrict ourselves to specific dates and not even pay attention to, like, what if there's a way that we can improve the sign-up experience? What if there's a way that we can improve our broadcasting experience before we add something else to it?
Right.
Then it's just like that. We have to really pay attention that the experience and the expectations are meeting what we hope for. No dates.
I agree. No dates.
You know, that's
no
dates.
Makes me think the Incredibles.
That's a good approach.
No capes.
No dates. No capes.
I only shared it because whoever this box, I thought this box person was a official of some sort with the box. So that's why I shared it. I do have a question that I wanted to answer, or that I wanted to ask earlier, and it is in regards to your KYC. So are you going to be using a third party for KYC?
Most likely played KYC, which is currently in use for the RES, or potentially Stripe KYC.
Okay. So you're using, the ones that are already vetted. They're
Reputable.
already out there. They've already gone through there. So you're going to be, so it's not like you're going to be looking at everybody's KYC stuff yourself.
No,
No.
No, just all those other
The amount of
corporations.
licensing you would need is kind of
Right.
crazy for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
So this
definitely.
is super, super, super cool. We've got 503 people watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching Dip a Toe. For those of you just popping in, we're talking with Patrick L. Riley and Kai about the box and the pillars projects. And so you're going to want to watch this from the beginning so they can get all of the details of the things that they've shared. Is there anything else that you guys want to share about box or pillars or anything else you want to share with our audience?
Well, I'll just say go to builtonxrp.com and sign up for the alpha. We're going into beta soon. And this is something that if you weren't here the whole time, we are looking to provide an alternate and true to its core social media that is going to pay you for your engagement instead of rob you of your data and try to force alternative thoughts that are not your own down your throat. So we're going to do this the right way. We're going to do it in many multitudes of ways better than anything that you've seen yet to date.
And I sometimes love to just do this. Want to hear an ad read?
Yes.
Go for it. Come on.
Do it, my friend.
Don't you hate your data being sold and you get nothing for it? Don't you hate that? Facebook, what used to be Twitter, we call it X now. Snapchat, whatever you want to call it. They sell your data and you get nothing for it. You should sign up for Box. Look into the box to learn about alternative finance, emerging economies, emerging technologies, and actually be rewarded for your participation. Just because you're participating in a platform, it doesn't mean that you get nothing for your data. Your data is worth something because you're worth something. Sign up for Box today. Do it.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Love it. Huh?
I might do a short out of that, bro. After this. Yeah, I might do a short out of it. In fact, I probably will.
Sign up for Box today. Huh?
Of course, with your guys' permission, don't want to make any more waves than need be at this point. Where was I going with that? I like that you guys are really focusing on, and Patrick, I mean, you've shown this attribute every time you've been on this show, and Kai, I mean, you're just really solidifying this, and that is the build the thing, do the thing, and then make it better. And then how can we make that better? And then how can we make that better? And then how can we make that better? You're so not focused on scale. You're focused on quality and the precision of that quality. So I love that. So I tip my hat to you both.
Thank you.
No. I want to give a shout out to James Anthony. Schmeckles is in the house. Mr. Schmeckles, I believe we would like to have you on the Dip a Toe show. So we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch on that. Well, we really appreciate you guys coming. What else, Simon? What else you got?
Oh, I got a little something. So now, Kai, you said pre-show. Oh no, Melissa brought you out and was talking about this, but you'd mentioned it before in the show. So did I hear it right when you said that you are a content creator / social media strategist?
Nope, social tech entrepreneur.
Okay,
and strategist.
Okay, all right. I was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me you got a blueprint so I could get more followers in just different arenas? Because I'm very much
I am very
interested in that.
familiar when it comes to content marketing. I could give some heads up here and there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I've
Cool. I'm very interested in it now because I mean, at first, yeah, YouTube channel, great. I was just really trying to reach people and talk about cryptocurrency. That was my thing. But honestly, it's like, no, there's a different strategy here. I need to focus on the strategy, not so much on the content, because the content will just go with the strategy. Like I already know that.
The content
right?
is natural. The strategy, is strategy.
Yeah. That's why I asked. I was like, well, wait a minute. We got 15 minutes here. Hold on. Let's get a play. I mean, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. That's very, very cool. I don't have anything else right now.
We try to grow this little dipper toe.
I know. It's gonna happen though. 520 people.
Look, we have
100 of you people were late to the party.
Well, I think we have like 163 people or something following our Dipper Toe channel, and we have 520. If you guys would just like it, at least just like swing on by the Dipper Toe channel, either on YouTube or Rumble at Dipper Toe, and smash that like button. It could help us out a lot, I think, to get us out there. It's super cool that everyone's.
Are there any shows or I guess shows on the platform currently on Box that we could go peruse in our own free time? Is there anything that's available?
The broadcasting, we are literally again in alpha.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, as we progress into beta, we are literally just going to have our initial show when it comes to generally what is happening on the crypto front, alternative finance. So this also includes like gold, silver, all the way to bricks, and socioeconomics and some politics as well. And we can have some fun stuff here and there. And if you'd like to also participate, you are more than welcome to.
Cool.
And I'll just throw this last thought out there from me, but the biggest accounts on X and Twitter are not necessarily the biggest because they've been most credible, as I said, but some of them are just the biggest because they were there first. And Jack Dorsey engaged with them way back in the day, and now they have 2 million followers. So if you think this is a good idea and you are somebody that likes the idea of having a significant following, it might be good to have an account now and engage now, because you never know where that could put you in a few years.
Right.
Yeah. You always see those people that have like the real simple names that are on Twitter,
OGs.
Yeah. Or it's just like when Google had Gmail, where you could get your first last name, which I thought I was so cool when I did it. And then I'm like, that was especially when I gave it out to every coupon and whatever. Like I was so ignorant when it came to email when it came out back in the day. Like, the things I've learned in my old age and my time on this earth. But yeah, the other thing I thought was extremely cool that I thought I'd give you guys kudos to is, so I did use the box, and I posted a couple of times, and I was able to actually share it directly to Twitter. I didn't have to do anything special. I just hit Twitter and boom, it went. I don't know how it knew what my Twitter account was, but it did. It went to my Twitter. So the only thing I noticed is that on my Twitter, it just shows the box. It didn't
it'll be fixed. It'll be fixed.
Yeah, I figured so, but I wanted to give you kudos for that. And it looks like you could do it to your Facebook and a couple other places.
You can text it. You can email it.
Yeah, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and then Reddit. It looked like if I had those accounts logged in probably with that same browser, it just went to, it would have opened it up and it went to there. And so I think that's really a kind of a cool thing. And for those of us that are going to try to use this, like tonight, I created our post for the show. And I posted it onto X, which then brings them back to, because when they click on your post on X, it takes them back to Box. and they see the actual post on box. So I thought that was pretty cool, slick move that you guys did there with that.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. Well, my friends, do you have anything else before we say our goodbyes? Any last final words?
Stand on the pillar. Sign up for box.
Amen.
I love
And
it.
enjoy your 4th of July.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Do
Happy
it. Enjoy your 4th of July.
Judge Netburn, you let me down. You didn't do the thing I asked you to do today, but happy 4th. Anyway.
Happy 4th to everyone that's watching. Please stay tuned. Dip a toe. We have it every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We look forward to you guys coming back again. Any final
Yeah,
words,
definitely.
Simon?
Peace and chicken grease, baby.
Peace and chicken grease. We love you guys. Have a good rest of your night.